Tonight, Silverchair frontman Daniel Johns, sentenced to community service. Meanwhile, the jury of a child of a man accused of murdering a baby have been played a distressing 000 call. And the well-known Hunter pub has been inundated as rain poured, and also as a massive amount of wet weather continues right throughout Newcastle, Lake Macquarie, and the entire Hunter region. That's up next on NBN News. Tonight, Silverchair frontman Daniel Johns avoids jail following a crash that occurred north of Newcastle. A trial of a man accused of murdering a baby up in New Lambton in 2019 called distressing. And the wet weather continues to be rage on in the Hunter. But first tonight, Silverchair frontman Daniel Johns has escaped jail time after he was convicted over high-range drink driving charges. The 43-year-old was charged with high-range drink driving after a head-on crash in the Hunter region north of Newcastle earlier this year. He was 3 times over the legal alcohol limit when he drove on the wrong side of the Pacific Highway at North Arm Cove before he crashed into a van and injured 2 people. Johns was today sentenced to 10 months and is allowed to serve the time in the community under an intensive corrections order. He must take part in a rehabilitation program and abstain from drinking alcohol. Johns' license has been disqualified for 7 months. And a warning, this story is extremely distressing. The jury in the trial of a man accused of murdering a baby at New Lambton in 2019 have been played a distressing 000 call, during which accused killer Jai William Smith can be heard wailing, repeating, "Please don't do this to me." Mr. Smith, who's now 31, has pleaded not guilty to murder, but guilty to manslaughter over the death of the baby, and is facing an estimated 4-week murder trial in Newcastle Supreme Court. The prosecution say Mr. Smith was alone with the boy during the 2 hours when he suffered numerous serious injuries, including a fractured skull. But lawyers for Mr. Smith say the boy's mother had repeatedly punched and shook the boy before leaving him with Mr. Smith. They say Mr. Smith was holding the boy when he likely suffered a seizure from the earlier assault and slipped out of Mr. Smith's arms, hitting his head on the ground. Crown Prosecutor Neil Adams, who of course is the SC, said on Monday one of Mr. Smith's neighbours in Fairfield Avenue was awoken at about 4:30 a.m. on February 9 by a man holding a baby. That neighbour, who is Kathy Walker, gave evidence on Tuesday describing Mr. Smith as a bit hysterical while she was on the phone to 000 and trying to give the baby CPR. The jury was played the 000 call, during which Mr. Smith can be heard in the background crying and begging for the baby to breathe, saying these, "Please stay with me, bud." Also, Mr. Smith can be heard saying, "Please don't do this to me, man." He could also be heard repeatedly yelling and swearing that the ambulance was taking too long to arrive. Also, he said this: when asked if anything had happened to the boy between when his mother left and when he tried to feed him, Mr. Smith replied, "What makes you said that? What do you mean he slipped? He slipped by accident. You're trying to say I dumped him on his head." Police who went to the hospital and spoke with the boy's mother described her as unemotional. The trial continues. A well-known Hunter pub has been inundated as rain poured and floodwater climbed yesterday. The New South Wales State Emergency Service was on alert into last night and also this morning, and also this afternoon, as extra resources was sent north following days of weather chaos in Sydney and its surrounding areas. Meanwhile, the Bureau of Meteorology recorded 139.4 mm of rain at Mangrove Mountain in the 24 hours to 9 a.m. yesterday, 98.4 at Cooabong, 89.2 at Gosford, and 58 at Nelson Bay. Meanwhile, Wallumbye Brook had reached major flood levels, and Bulga and Brickman's Bridge, it was continuing to rise yesterday afternoon, while the Hunter River was at a minor flood level and rising the Belmore Bridge. Meanwhile, Hunter women and children who have fled domestic violence are joining new weekly psychology services within Jenny's Place crisis accommodation, where and when it is needed, as they start to rebuild their lives. An anonymous philographic grant to Jenny's Place has allowed it to partner with the University of Newcastle School of Physiology to establish the Sunshine Hut Clinic. Meanwhile, the UON provisional psychologists and postgraduate students staffed the clinic under the guidance of clinical supervisor Saskia Behan. If you or someone you know is a victim of domestic and physical violence, you can contact this 1-800-RESPECT number. That's 1-800-333. That's 1-800-737-732. The annual Benny for Brain Cancer round has surpassed expectations to raise more than $4 million for the Mark Hughes Foundation. The campaign urged fans to buy a MHF beanie with the aim of raising $3 million for brain cancer research. But with more than 170,000 beanies sold, as well as significant financial contributions from other fundraising initiatives, the campaign has reached more than $4 million and counting. The 2022 beanies are on track to sell out this week, and the big three trekkers who walked 150 kilometres from NRL headquarters in Sydney to Newcastle ended up raising $177,000 for the MHF. Sportsbet donated $58,000 or $1,000 per try to the cause after 58 tries were scored in round 16. The proposed 30-storey residential development at the former store site in Newcastle West has been given the green light. Doma Group's $117 million project at 854 Hunter Street was approved by the Hunter and Central Coast Joint Regional Planning Panel on Monday. The building will be made up of 2 towers comprising 360 apartments and is set to eclipse 100 metres, making it Newcastle's tallest skyscraper. Doma said construction would start at the end of the year. The block will feature a mix of 1, 2, 3 and 4 bedroom apartments, commercial space on the lower levels along with recreational facilities including a swimming pool, tennis court, barbecue area, community gardens, children's playground and a rooftop observation deck. After the break, Stockton's Bella Fernandez to compete in the national finals of Top Model Australia.
Love the outdoors but hate the insects? Then try Raid Automatic Outdoor. It's a great way to stop flying and crawling bugs outdoors. Only Raid Automatic Outdoor provides continuous protection, no hassles, no mess and no nasty odours. Raid's breakthrough technology creates an invisible barrier that kills insects over a wide area. Enjoy the outdoors again with Raid Automatic Outdoor. What's new where you see it first?
A bottle of milk, thanks.
Low fat, no fat, full cream, high calcium, high protein soy, light skim, omega-3, high calcium with vitamin D and folate or extra dollop.
I just want milk that tastes like real milk.
This tastes like full cream milk and only 2% fat.
Paul's Smarter White Milk. Smart choice.
Here's a big offer from Big Pond. Get fast, reliable wireless broadband access at half price for the first 12 months on a 24-month plan for eligible customers. Hurry and call 13POND or visit bigpond.com for details.
That's $30 million. This truckload of cash could be yours. Don't miss Tuesday's whopping $30 million Oz Lotto jackpot.
It's the final sale. Almost all gold half price. Almost all diamond jewellery 50% off. Almost all silver half price. It's Wallace Bishop's final sale before Christmas. Don't miss out.
They can't be graded. And if you move quickly, they can save you 50 cents a litre on your petrol. Swap a $200,000 home loan to the Greater and you can save for a whole year.
50 cents a litre? You'd be mad not to swap your home loan to the Greater.
Choose now from Regal Motors' even bigger used vehicle range with big 5-year warranties, and you'll get a 6-burner barbecue for free. Things are really cooking now at Regal Motors, but hurry, only for a limited time.
Stockton's Bella Fernandez will compete in the national finals of Top Model Australia in Melbourne on Sunday. The 18-year-old law student said she's excited and nervous about the contest, especially as it's on a national stage. She said that she is looking forward to seeing the top model team again, as well as making the most out of the experience. After recently being named the Australian Supermodel of the Year and having years of modelling experience, she feels well prepared and mentored for the event. The finals consist of 2 judged sections which have been held at Q events in Melbourne. The first is professional comp card, which usually compromises the best images from a model's portfolio. In his own words, Matthew Smith hit the ground running when he took on the executive chief role at Crystal Brook Kingsley 2 months ago. He's barely had a chance to stop and catch his breath since. He said, laughing, the removalist truck came on a Thursday and he was in the kitchen the following morning. Smith is in charge of Roundhouse Restaurant, Miss Mary and Romberg's Bar at Newcastle's first 5-star hotel, which opened last year at the former Newcastle Council Chambers Plus Conference and in dining room. To the weather, it was just really wet today, and of course there'll be showers tomorrow. And of course, it was 19 for Newcastle, and also it was 18 for both Toronto and Wallsend. Meanwhile, the rest was also getting there, as Raymond Terrace had 17, so too did Singleton and Cessnock. And also, Muswellbrook had 16, so too did Scone. Newcastle will have a minimum of 12 metres and a maximum of 18 metres by tomorrow. Now there's a massive flood warning for the Hunter, and of course there is, and because of that, and it's not a good one either. And of course it's a struggle for many, and of course it'll be alright. It'll be cloudy tomorrow. It could be the chance of showers. Of course, there could be 80% with a high chance of it along the coastal fringe. It's 19 for Newcastle, 18 for Maitland, 17 for both Singleton and Gosford, and 16 for Scone. Onto the waters, and of course there'll be seas of up to 2 to 3 metres. The winds southerly 25 to 30 knots. It also will be reaching up to 35 knots offshore. The first swell is southerly at around 1 metre, increasing up to 1.5 to 2.5 metres during the morning. And also, the second swell has a southeasterly up to 2 to 3 metres, while there'll be a cloudy 95 chance of showers and a chance of a thunderstorm as well. Let's have a look at the tides for Newcastle tomorrow, and of course there'll be high tides at around about 1:20 a.m. 1.55 metres, and also there's another one at 2:30 in the afternoon, 1.5 metres. While there'll be 2 low tides, one at 7:56 a.m. which is tomorrow morning, which is 0.56 metres, and also it's there's the last one at 8:23 p.m. and it's 8 metres. And also the sun's getting up at 6:55, setting at about 1 minute to 5 o'clock tomorrow. It'll be right for Newcastle, as well as, despite the wet weather, it will be okay for Scone in the Upper Hunter, and also for Gosford in the Central Coast. And that's it from the latest news from NBN. From all of us here, good night.